Today on the channel, we've got the latest Target exclusive G.I. Joe Classified Series release. We're looking at number 158, Alvin Breaker Kibbe, part of the M.A.S.S subline of G.I. Joe Classified Series on Way I Got It Figured.
The Way I Got It Figured.
What's up, figure fans? Way I Got It Figured, back with another G.I. Joe Classified Series review. This time we're jumping way in the future to 158. Alvin Breaker Kibbe, one of the original 13, which you probably already know if you've been paying attention on this channel. That's, number one. I get all original 13 members anytime they get a release. That's probably never going to change. But this version of Breaker is the newest version. He's got this is his second version. This is a completely redone Breaker, part of the M.A.S.S line. He comes with one of the catalytic elements, and he's sort of espousing his look from the original G.I. Joe cartoon series from Sunbow back in the 80s, even though he's updated and looks different than that. That's what he's supposed to be evoking. He's more or less evoking it rather than mimicking it. But that's what we got here. And I'm here for it. I did like the other version of Breaker that they did, which was also part of a Target subline. The Cobra Island Breaker that came with the Ram cycle. But I'm definitely thinking this is the one that's probably going to more take over for that. And I actually even expect a third version that'll probably be on a retro card where he'll be in green. But, we'll see how that goes later down the road. But as I already mentioned, and as you already know, Breaker is one of the original G.I. Joe team members, the original 13 members, with the retroactive 14th member, which is Shooter. So we're going to start off looking at Breaker's package, get him out, compare with some other figures, and give you some final thoughts before getting you out of here pretty quick. So as I already mentioned, G.I. Joe, Alvin Breaker Kibbe, number 158, part of M.A.S.S line. Looking pretty cool in the package. New head, alternate head with the bubble gum, which is also kind of like my signal to know that we're definitely going to get a retro card. Pretty decent picture on the side. Got your file symbols on there, and you've got your QR code that goes nowhere. And some pretty cool figure photography on the background. So this is the yellow element where they got from the volcano, where they ended up using like a net to grab they had nets between sky strikers to grab a meteor. It's kind of crazy. But that's the part of the M.A.S.S device saga that we're using here. Got some pretty cool inserts here. You got the little vest, and of course, you got the same vest as Grunt on the insert for the vest. And I guess his watch, I guess, is supposed to be cool. And then you got his file card symbols. So he's got 2 communications, 3 communications device, 3 language, and 2 cryptography. So he's pretty good, I guess. He's like a 10. They always want to sort of devalue the original Joes, all the original Joes that aren't Hawk, Stalker, the Stalker's actually one of them that they devalue in terms of like how good they are, supposedly. If you're not Stalker, if you're not Scarlet, if you're not Hawk, everybody's 10 or less in the original OG team, After that, I guess there was even better people to do every possible job after that. Sure, whatever. But we're going to get Breaker out and check him out. Okay, so we've got Breaker out, and he doesn't come with a super amount of accessories, but he comes with quite a bit of things. Pretty cool. Most of it is reuse, and that's fine because these guys are modular dudes wearing uniforms, and that's quite all right. And I actually like some of the stuff he came with too, so we'll get into that. So first off, we got his communications pack. I don't remember anybody coming with this up to this point. Certainly not the original Breaker with the RAM, but it looks cool. Nice detail. Got a little hole for the cord here, and I'm guessing the cord goes into the helmet. We'll get to here in a sec. Comes with this knife, which is the same knife that Grunt came with. Stick that in there. Then the pistol that he comes with, which I would have thought based on him being based on another guy, he would have came with that pistol, but I actually like this pistol better. And he comes with the same pistol that Stalker and Snake Eyes comes with the silencer, of course. Let's not forget that. Then you got the helmet, which is basically a communications up version of the modern Army helmets that we've been getting with the Joes, including the OG-13. And there is a port for the wire from the communications gear. All of which, in my opinion, leads up to a retro card version of Breaker in the future. Then we've got the first catalytic element, or is it the second catalytic element? It's one of the catalytic elements. Very cool there. And we've got Breaker's comic book head, is what I'll call it, with the bubble gum. The bubble gum does not come off, so don't try and pull it off, or you're going to break it. Then as for Breaker himself, nice new portrait. Pretty cool. Those guys were all kind of generic dudes, so changing up the face doesn't really make too much of a difference. But as far as Breaker himself, he is the third reuse of the rock and roll body. So you got rock and roll in 2023. Then we got the action soldier that was also 100% a rock and roll body with different sleeves on the arms. Then we got retro card rock and roll, and he's up and down rock and roll from the shoulders down. This part of the arm is different, but it's pretty much rock and roll with different arms. And it looks cool. Obviously different gear too. This is the same holster as the interesting thing is it's the same holster as Grunt, but it's not the same pistol. But that's cool. Either way. So actually I want to see that. I want to see how that's gonna work. So you gotta get rid of the sniper rifle, which isn't going to plug in anywhere that I could see. But the pistol does holster in, so you're good there. It does work. So there's that. The handgun does fit in there, even though it's not the one that it was originally intended for. But yes, Breaker is looking good. The difference is, of course, is in equipment. So the belts and things that he has are different than rock and rolls. And of course, he has the same vest as Grunt. Grunt's red Graves. His reads Kibby, which is his last name. So that's all appropriate. Hawk as a colonel, going to come with the M.A.S.S. Also has this vest and it's going to read Abernathy on there. So they're doing a good job with that. So I'm going to change out the heads, because even though this head is cool, I like the bubble gum. It's a really cool distinguisher for breaker. So he's gonna probably rock this head normally in my collection. But next, we're gonna get him geared up and do some comparisons. All right, so we got Breaker geared up, and he looks great. He's a 100% improvement over the original Breaker, and I wasn't really, I never really disliked that figure. I thought they did a good job with that as well, because they were doing the OG 13 Joes, but they were kind of putting a spin on them to modernize them, not to make them look exactly like they did back in the day. But we got um, they did a good job with differentiating them, from that. Yeah, I still think this is better. So here's the first comparison, which of course will be OG Breaker, and he is on a smaller body. His legs are the snake eyes. The boots are the snake eyes boots that the number 52 snake eyes got. He's like a partial of Duke and Snake Eyes. So there's that. I guess Flint too. His helmet was nice, with the same sort of updated, modernized, uh, modern helmet with all the communications gear built into it. No wires needed, no backpack needed. Nice vest and everything like that. And it looked cool for its day. So there's that. Next up, we'll bring in Retro Card Rock and Roll. And even though you can't see 100%, Retro Card Rock and Roll is the same body all the way down the line, except the arms, where you can tell because the sleeve roll ups are different. But everything else is exactly the same: the boots, the legs, the chest, and the top of his arms, all the same parts. And last but certainly not least, take out OG Breaker. We'll bring in Retro Card Stalker. And Retro Card Stalker, last time I had him in a video, I couldn't find his beret. It had fallen in a box and I had to dig through that box. But here he is, got his beret back. And, they still look good together. So that's my take on them. I think they look really good. I think Breaker looks pretty awesome. I really like it. And for the retro card, the only thing I might do differently if they do a retro card is have them come with this stuff, but have them come with the web gear that Stalker comes with. If you really want to really make them retro, to give them that sameness look, that's probably the only change I would make. There you go. That's your comparisons. Now we're going to move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on G.I. Joe Classified Series number 158, Alvin Breaker Kibby, part of the M.A.S.S line, Target exclusive subline for G.I. Joe Classified Series 2025. I think this figure is awesome. It evokes the cartoon version of Breaker, but it doesn't look exactly like the cartoon version of Breaker. It's a modernized take. It's an improvement over the original Cobra Island Breaker. This is the Breaker that I want in my collection, barring a retro card release of Breaker. Like I said, the only thing I would change is the web gear. If they're to do a retro card, that I feel is like as a shoe-in to happen. So hopefully they make that change, and I'll be super happy. But even if they don't, I do like this. I'm gonna give this breaker honestly a 10. I think it's a great figure. We can't really complain about reuse anymore. It's not. It's just part of it. It's just part of GI Joe to have that. So, but I do think they did a great job with the presentation of what we got for this character. So there you go. That's gonna do it for this one. We got some more Target exclusive stuff coming at you very shortly. Breaker's just the first of those things. So stay tuned for that. Transformers, Marvel Legends, it's all happening. Until next time, everybody stay safe. See you on the next video. Happy collecting. Peace.
The way I got it figured.